Hi, I'm Ben Schiller, an academic economist and 10-year Lincoln resident. This video focuses on the mall subdistrict in the HCA rezoning, which is zoned for such a high residential density that it will crowd out retail stores we have in Lincoln, likely leading to its demise. While the current owner may save retail by not utilizing the full capacity of housing units, it is what the zoning allows and encourages. Let me explain. The mall parcel, which includes Donnellan's, the Twisted Tree, the tack room, the post office, something special, etc., is approximately 4 acres. At 25 units per acre proposed under Article 3, they could legally build 100 apartments or condos. It is important to remember that the zoning bylaws will apply to any owner of the parcel, the current owner or the future owner. You are probably thinking, where can all these units and the parking for residents fit? Let's start with the part that might sort of work. 2 stories above existing retail would allow 75,000 square feet for residential uses. That ostensibly allows for 100 750 square foot, 1-bedroom apartments, but only if we exclude things like hallways to get to the apartments, stairways, elevators, common spaces, a lobby, gym, etc. Realistically, apartments would need to be 600 square feet to fit all 100 apartments above the retail buildings. Space needed for apartments that are large enough to fit families, would require taking space from existing parking lots and the very limited grassy areas. More worryingly, the apartment residents need parking. Right? The planning board assumed 1.6 parking spaces per unit in their meetings, which would require 160 parking spaces for residents. Using this planning board model, residential parking spaces would displace all current retail parking spaces. That's untenable for retail. Retail parking is vital. 1 parking space for retail allows multiple customers to come and shop at the mall at different times of day. 1 retail parking spot equals multiple customers to support retail every day. The Brookside in West Concord gives a reasonable counterexample. It fits some retail, although less, along with 21 housing units per acre in 3 stories. However, most parking is underground, which we cannot fit in a similar mixed-use development in the Lincoln Mall because of the high water table, at least according to the RLF and Planning Board. We couldn't fit a similar residential development at our mall, and yet we are zoning for even higher density. The retail would have to go. You might have heard that the RLF wouldn't allow retail to go and doesn't want retail to fail. Remember, the zoning bylaws will apply to any owner of the parcel, the current owner or any future owners. As late as last summer, the RLF were talking publicly about selling to a developer to get out of the landlord business, which isn't their mission. This fall, they stated repeatedly that they need 85 to 100 residential units for the parcel to be economically viable. Now they are saying that they will go more slowly with initial plans for only 40 units, but have fought to keep 100 zoned apartments, which they may build later. But with the proposed bylaws, the RLF needs to keep ownership of the mall indefinitely, because with this high density and weak bylaws, it'll be up to the goodwill of the owner to protect retail. We must hope that they don't go back to their thoughts last summer of selling to a developer. You might have heard that the zoning bylaws require that the mall include 33% of the building space for retail. However, this can be reduced by approval from the planning board. We should expect that it will by the following logic. Suppose the eventual owner of the mall builds residential housing and residential parking spaces in place of current retail parking, leaving too little retail parking. The businesses will suffer, leading to empty storefronts. The planning board might want to penalize the owner, but at that point, the parking is gone, and as a result, retail cannot succeed. The planning board then chooses between empty storefronts and replacing retail with more housing. At that point, it is backed into a corner, and the best remaining option is to remove retail. Now, savvy developers may anticipate this from the beginning, knowing that if they build over parking spaces, they will eventually get their way to replace retail with more lucrative housing. This concept actually has a name, the holdup problem. and is taught in economics classes and managerial economics classes across the country to undergraduate and MBA students. We should expect smart developers to be well versed in this idea. There is only one option to save retail for sure. Vote down the currently proposed Article 3, but only for now. Then we can adjust the HCA proposal by reducing the allowed housing density on the mall parcel. The RLF could then sell out of the mall parcel knowing that retail is protected. Let's not approve a plan that we know is flawed because we worry that we won't comply with the Housing Choice Act. We absolutely will, and we will build substantial housing in the process. The Select Board noted that we have enough time to revise the proposal. The due date to comply isn't until December of this year. Let's choose a smart and well thought out plan rather than a rushed and flawed one that can lead to our retail's demise. Thanks for listening. I'd also like to thank the Planning Board for all the work they've put in over the last 3 months, making the other 3 districts and the bylaws very well thought out. Let's just fix the little bit that's left. Let's make sure that there's retail for the long term in Lincoln.